In Battlefield 1 there aren't any attachments as such. Instead, most weapons have a different variation you can pick from, such as Factory, Hunter, Extended, etc. Sometimes it can be a tough choice to understand which one to go for, even with the stats section giving you some help. As such, I wanted to go through each variation of weapons and give you a brief understanding of its benefits and negatives so you can better choose what you want to go with. Let's start with the shotguns. Factory. This means lightweight and it will recover faster from recoil as well as regaining accuracy quicker. Then we have Slug. This one is pretty self-explanatory because it's similar to equipping slugs in, let's say, Battlefield 4. It will give you slugs instead of the standard buckshot, which will massively increase the range, but at close range, if you don't hit the target directly, it will actually deal less than 100 damage, so you've got to be really careful. And then you've got Hunter. This uses a choke to tighten the pellets to give you a bit more range, a nice balance between the normal shotgun and the slug variant. I personally love the Model 10 Hunter. And then Sweeper is the complete opposite. It shoots more pellets but they're weaker, making it a bit stronger and consistent when up close, but you will sacrifice some range. Backboard will give you reduced recoil and faster recoil recovery, but as a result you'll have faster damage drop off. Lastly, Extended gives you a bigger magazine. As you can see, lots of the variants of shotguns utilise the same attachments as you would be using in Battlefield 4, but it's just a simplified version of them where you pick a variant rather than having to pick an attachment or two. Okay, so what about the rest of the assault class, the SMGs? Let's start really simple. Storm. If you see a Storm variation of a weapon, that simply means that that version of the weapon has less recoil. You'll find a lot of Storm variations of the medic guns, and the Automatico Storm is also particularly dangerous for the assault class. And then we've got Trench, another pretty simple one really. This weapon type means that the gun is going to have better hipfire. Factory is just the same as it is for the shotguns when it comes to the SMGs. It's lightweight and it will recover faster from recoil as well as regaining accuracy faster. Optical gives you better accuracy both while stationary and moving. Lastly, for the SMGs we've got the experimental version. This is different depending on the weapon, but in this case it's in relation to the special MP18 and it locks the weapon to burst fire mode, but it massively increases its accuracy if you pace the bursts well. You really need to get into a rhythm with it and it can be fantastic, but if you shoot fast or too slow it can be a bit tricky to handle. Moving on to the medic weapons, and it's very similar here. Factory is the same, lightweight and it recovers faster. Trench once again will give you better hipfire, and Optical will be better accuracy while stationary and moving. In the medic class, Marksman is the first version we haven't encountered yet, and this will give you much better accuracy while stationary, usually thanks to a scope. There is only one Sweeper version of the medic guns, and it's a special M1907 variant that enabled fully automatic fire, and it's a bit more accurate in hipfire. And then we've got the Storm that again has reduced recoil just like for the assault weapons, and a new variant called Sniper. This gives better accuracy while stationary like Marksman, but it also comes with a bipod. Lastly, we have Extended, and for the medic class it's a special version of the auto-loading 8 which comes with a much larger detachable magazine and also has reduced recoil, but as for balance it fires a weaker bullet. Honestly, this gun is fantastic, it's one of my favourites and I'd recommend using it if you're running as a medic. Moving on to support. We know that Storm has reduced recoil, Trench has better hipfire and Optical gives better accuracy, but support also has some specifics. Low weight, for example, what's that? Well, that essentially has the same features as Factory but with a different name. It means that it's lightweight and recovers faster from recoil, and of course regains accuracy quicker. In Medic and Assault it's called Factory, but in Support for some reason it's called low weight. It's essentially the same thing though. Suppressive support weapons gives the weapon an extended magazine as well as a bipod for suppressive fire. Telescopic will give you a bipod and gives best accuracy while stationary. You can expect that the telescopic version of weapons will come with a pretty hefty scope as well. Last but not least, we've got Scout, probably everyone's favourite class at the moment. We again have some variants that we've already covered, but in the Scout class they also have different benefits. In the Scout class, if you see a weapon with the Sniper variant, it means that it will come with a higher magnification scope and bipod. However, Marksman will give you medium magnification, but your breath can be held longer. And I also believe that Marksman variants do not show up a scope glint when you're zooming in. There is only one trench version of a weapon in the Scout class, and that's the Russian 1895, and that shoots a weaker bullet that can be fired faster. Same for experimental. There's a special variant of the M1903 that converts the rifle into a semi-automatic weapon with a big magazine, but it fires a pistol bullet. In real life, these are known as Pedersen devices. If you want better hip fire, then the carbine versions of the Scout weapons gives you that, as well as giving you better moving accuracy. Obviously, you're going to get a different scope as well. And lastly, the infantry variant gives you a lightweight version that recovers faster from recoil and regains accuracy quicker, much like factory and low weight from other classes. I kind of wish these were called the same thing though, across multiple classes. Overall, there's a lot to get your head around here, and a lot of crossover between classes, so if you know what a version does in one class, it's pretty easy to work out what it does in another, but hopefully this guide has helped clear up a few of the weapon variants in the game so you can better choose which one works for you. And that's all for today, folks. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Thanks for watching, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.